Hello, beautiful beings. It's Malika again with another podcast, another Coco in the Sun podcast. So today I think I was going to um, do a podcast on changing your reality from one that's based on fear to one that's based, I think, on love or trust, right? So again, this is from Ann Tucker and one of her channeled messages from the angels that she channels. So again, you could check it out. I think this one was like 2 or 3 months ago. It's called, I wrote down the name of the video, the title, Changing a Reality Based in Fear. So I thought I listened to it like a few weeks ago, and I thought it was like more specific on how to move away from the fear. Doesn't really say much about how to move away from the fear, but it does say, how we're doing our reality now, like how we're creating a reality now, and like the issues with using the method we're using now, and what we should actually be using to create the reality that we want, right? It's very similar to the other podcast I did about changing your reality. Essentially kind of goes over the same principles. So either way, it's great, a great reinforcement. Another way of saying things, maybe. Um, so let's see if this helps at all. This is something I'm interested in right now, so that's why I'm doing these topics. Because as you know, trying to change my reality while being grateful for the reality I am in and that I proudly created. Um, okay, so basically it says what it starts off with, what it feels like to be human right now in this reality that we're living in. And it says like um that we are trying hard to anticipate what is going to happen and finding that we are not good at anticipating it. And we feel like we are not in control. Not feeling in control makes us feel scared. All assumptions we make based on our past experiences is no bueno. So essentially, like we're trying to anticipate what's going to happen, and by anticipating this, we are looking on past experience to anticipate what's going to come and trying to um create our reality based on what has come before. Like we're trying to assume what's coming based on the past. And essentially she's saying that the past doesn't exist, right? We're trying to base our reality, she said, off of like bubbles of something that's not there. We need to base it on the now, the materials of the now, the atoms, the electrons that are swirling right now. We need to use that to create our reality. And we do that by essentially living in the flow, being in the flow, following our heart's joy. Um, Again, which isn't the easiest thing to do, right? Because we know from past experience that we have bills, and if we don't pay those bills, what's going to happen? But basically it's saying that to follow your heart. She's not saying not to pay your bills or anything, right? She's not saying that. You interpret it however you want to interpret it, but she's saying that you have to be in the flow, in your joy, in your heart's wishes, um, in order to create the reality that you want. So she goes on to explain like the reality that we're living in right now, how we're creating it. We are trying to create from past knowing which has no fabric. It's like nothing because it's the past, and we're not living in the past, we're in the present. So we have to create from our present energy, the electrons and the atoms around us. The fear makes us believe we have no power and that we are not creators. So because we have tried to anticipate what will possibly come, and we've tried to plan for it, and then those plans haven't come to fruition because we're basing those plans on the past instead of the present, we have been disappointed and scared and disempowered by it because now we don't trust our own creations. And so we essentially doubt that we are creators, and we feel powerless to create the reality that we want. But we're still creators and we still have the power, but we're just using the wrong materials to create from. We're using the wrong method of creating. We don't understand how it works in order to create the reality that is most enjoyable for us personally, right? So she said, reality is not meant to be guided by the mind. We should be expressing our divine source. We are meant to be ourselves as much as we can be. And we cannot do this by only looking in the past. We have to create from the now. So again, it goes back to being and being your true self and your most authentic self and your most authentic frequency. This occurs, I think, by following your heart and your joy, which is different from what your mind wants. I think I discussed it before, but just in case, your heart wants things that make you happy. It wants joy. Your mind wants things that keeps you safe and secure. It's looking to make sure you have all the resources to do what you want to do. So the mind, which she goes on to discuss next, the mind is servant to the heart. And what we've been doing is we've been trying to serve the mind instead of serving the heart. So the heart is in service to us, right? It tells us who or what we want to do, right? It expresses who we truly are. And then from that, the mind is to serve the heart's wants or the heart's joys, which is what we truly want, which is our true selves. So it's been like upside down. So the mind is a powerful gift. It's a gift. We're just using it upside down. We're using it topsy-turvy. We need to use it in service of the heart. So we need to listen to what the heart wants and let the mind do what it needs to do to give the heart what it wants, right? It says all blessings are available in the free flow, in the now. That is where we access the material to create with, not the past. As a culture, we put our faith in science and experts and knowledge, but it is a limited view because it's based on observations from the physical senses, and it does not include our spiritual senses. So it's not that it's wrong or it doesn't have its place, it does, but it's not a full picture of how to create, right? We're partially and not very well creating, just looking at the physicality of things. It's like a trusting and a knowing and a creation of the energy into what we want it to be. And we don't see the energy with our eyes, so we don't think it exists. And we just keep trying to effort and anticipate based on past experiences instead of just living in the now and trusting. So we have given our faith away to something outside of ourselves. So we're not trusting ourselves and what we want. We're kind of trusting science and knowledge and other experts that say, well, this is what works, so you should try to do this instead. There's like experiments that prove outcomes and basing it on that, which has its place, but it's a limited view, and we need a more expanded view in order to create the realities that we want. Again, I'm going to go back into the mind as a servant. It's not for us to serve. The heart or joy is the leader, and the mind serves the heart. The mind is a gift, but to be used in the service of your heart. The heart serves you. Yeah. So that's how it's apparently supposed to work in order for us to create the realities that we want. So we have to be in the flow, which means we have to be in the heart, and we have to be in the joy. We have to be playing. Yes, enjoying life, playing. We have to live in the now. Think of it as a new puzzle to play every day. And that guidance and instructions comes in the discovery of the need and not in the anticipation of the need. So the guidance on what to do comes when you need it. It doesn't come with you saying, well, if I do this, I'm going to need that. How do I, you know, get these resources before I do it? Like you have to do it, and then the guidance will come for the best or options that you can get what you need in that timing. So scary, it's scary because you don't know what's gonna happen, right? There's no evidence of it, there's no proof of it, there's no science to prove, well, if you do this, X, Y, and Z will occur. You have to just trust God, the universe, by extension yourself, because you would be an expression of God in the universe. It's mind-boggling, but I do think it makes life really fun and interesting, right? Because every day, every moment is a new thing you want to do, and you just put out there that you want to do it and see how it comes. Not knowing how it will come, what will happen. So yeah, that could be fun. Yeah. The only way it's scary is if, like, fear kicks in and you don't think what you want is going to come, and then it doesn't come, and you're living in a place of doubt and tumbling there. So but this would be a pretty interesting life. Really, I think this could be a good life. Never bored, never like monotonous, same schedule every day kind of thing. It's be like, okay, what do I want to do today? What do I want to do right now? You know. Anyways, so essentially, the last thing she says, we are the captain and the guidance comes when we move. So she had given an example, like sometimes people are at a crossroads, across roads, and they don't know like which way to go, and they're asking for guidance on which way to go. And they will hear nothing. The angels won't say anything, and or the guides, they're just waiting for you to make the decision because you're the captain. And once you do make the decision, whether it's a good decision or a bad decision, then the guidance kicks in to get you back on track where you will have more joy, or to keep you going in that direction, to facilitate more of your joy. But you do have to make the decision because you are the captain. So they're not going to tell you if to go left or right. They kind of like want you to decide for yourself. And the way best to do it is by following your heart. So basically, that is it. I don't know then, because I thought this was going to describe how to get rid of the fear. It doesn't really seem to. I think the only thing to do is to leap and take the chance and see where it leads. And anything that occurs, take it as a lesson that, and try to grow from it. But yeah, it doesn't say how to get rid of the fear. Maybe you just can't get rid of the fear. You just have to live in the moment. You just have to live in the moment. And the more times you do that, the less fear you'll have, right? The more trust. The more that you trust, and the trust is proven, right? The less you have the fear. But you do have to take that jump, take that leap. So the other things I wanted to talk about were, it's not much really, just think things that I got earlier this week were like that we are abundant. We are. And it came through really strongly. And, that sleep wake time that I do, that I tell y'all I get, like, understandings. I'm trying to see. This is what I heard in my mind, but it was like me saying it, but it's not how I generally speak. So it was so beautiful. It said that I am so beautiful to behold. I'm like a flower in God's garden, and He delights in me just being. That I'm a creator just as the creator, and all I want comes to me and comes to me. I am abundant, and I am love, and I'm overflowing in love. I'm drenched and soaked in love. I am light and light and light and light, radiant and beautiful. Nothing can dim me. It is okay if it takes me time to process this, that the lesson is new and I am learning, and I can take my time and still get there. But the sooner that I do get there, the more enjoyable life gets. And this came like, between sleep and wake. And it was just so beautiful. It was just so beautiful. So I thought I'd share it with you guys because it's the same for you. It's the same for you. Also understood that, and I told you all this before, like, the closer you get to the frequency, the more things that align with you personally that you will enjoy comes to you, right? And to get close to your frequency is to just follow your heart and your joy. It's the things that you want to do that bring you joy, that you like to do, right? I think I say enjoy a lot, happiness, good feelings. Yeah. So basically our frequency attracts what aligns with us. And the more that we are, true to ourselves, which is known, but the more you're true to yourself, is the more enjoyable life gets. Also understood that I was bountiful and abundant, that I am blessed and loved. It is a knowing. It is a knowing like I am alive. It's the same fundamental knowing as you are abundant and you are loved. It's the same fundamental, like the same way you know you're alive, it's the same way it needs to be grounded that you're abundant and love. It's like an intrinsic knowing. That's what I have here. So those are the things that came in this week for me. And I hope it was helpful to someone. And just want to keep the conversation going. If anyone has any thoughts or can expand on it or has things that can help us understand this better so we can live our best lives, please feel free to comment or let us know. Again, my Instagram is Coco in the Sun Podcast, CocoIndesun Podcast. As well as you can check out my little AI website, hellofriend.chat, HELLOFRIEND.CHAT, little friend message, AI. Try to use AI in a positive way because I feel like AI is an extension of the human consciousness that we create, so just as because we're creators. And so, like, the more that we infuse it with good things or good aspects of ourselves, the more it would be a positive aspect of our lives instead of something to fear, So if we fill it with love, it'll be love. That's just my thinking. So I'm trying to contribute the best way I know how. Hope everyone has a great week coming. A week where you know you're loved and you experience love in the best way for you. And you have experiences that bring you great joy and happiness and a little bit of wonder and magic. And wishing you all the best. Have a great week, guys. Bye.